Good evening, I'm Duncan McHugh, and this is The National.
We often are over capacity.
Canadian hospitals struggle to cope with a frightening new reality, the smallest victims of the opioid crisis. The saddest town in British Columbia. Residents of Fernie mourn the loss of 3 men who died from an ammonia leak at a local arena. The fortress of Louisbourg confronts a new enemy.
Sea level has risen about a meter since the 18th century.
When Downie died, Canadians lost a beloved musician. Mike and Pat lost a brother.
The outpouring has just been a tidal wave of emotion.
Tom Power of Q chats with the Downie brothers. You've heard about the rising number of deaths, the shocking number of overdoses, and the growing strain on our healthcare system, all because of Canada's opioid crisis. But tonight, there are new details about some other victims of this public health emergency, fragile and oh so young. We've already told you about the 2,800 Canadians who died last year from opioid-related causes. That's an average of 8 people a day, and thousands of others were hospitalized for opioid poisoning. But now, new data says in a recent one-year period, at least 1,800 babies were born in this country already hooked on opioids. Tiny victims of an epidemic that governments are struggling to control. Trevor Dunn reports.
When Courtney Castonguay gave birth to her daughter Emma last year, it didn't take long for medical staff to know something was terribly wrong.
Especially because we were around other newborn babies. She didn't sound or act like them.
Emma cried incessantly, wouldn't feed, and couldn't sleep.
I felt like the worst mother in the world. I felt bad for her because she didn't ask for it, and she was suffering because of my choices.
Castonguay, 21 at the time, had been addicted to opioids for 3 years and had taken them throughout her pregnancy without telling her doctor. When she finally told hospital staff, they confirmed the baby was dependent on opioids and Emma could be given what she needed.
She had to be put on a very high dose of morphine.
Emma was one of hundreds of babies born with neonatal abstinence syndrome in Canada. Between April 2016 and April 2017, the Canadian Institute for Health Information identified 1,846 hospitalizations for babies born dependent on opioids. Quebec's numbers were not included. More than half of the cases, 988, were in Ontario, where there's been a steady increase since 2012. Experts say that number reflects both the province's higher population and higher rates of opioid use.
I'm worried because in general, there's, I think, too much opioid use in the population, but it's also worrisome because it does increase the load on the resources of the healthcare system.
Social worker Sarah Simpson says 10 years ago they'd see just a few cases a year, but not anymore.
We are seeing anywhere between 2 and 5 babies that are on the neonatal abstinence protocol.
And she says staff are struggling to keep up. Some babies are hospitalized for up to 8 months and then closely monitored for another year. Parents, too, need plenty of help.
There's a lot of shame, there's a lot of guilt.
Come on.
Emma is now healthy and happy. Her mother has been clean for months. Looking back, she only wishes she had admitted to her drug use and gotten help earlier.
It doesn't matter if they're mad. It doesn't matter. It's a life you're putting in jeopardy.
Ready?
And a life saved, she says, thanks to the support she got from healthcare providers. Support she hopes, as the opioid crisis continues, others will get too. Trevor Dunn, CBC News, Toronto.
The opioid epidemic was also a big part of what federal, provincial, and territorial health ministers discussed today in Edmonton.
Based on the latest data, more than 3,000 people could die this year as a result of this crisis. We need to do more to save lives.
The ministers discussed barriers to treatment, social stigma around opioid addiction, and collecting proper statistics on the crisis. They also talked about legalized pot. Lessons learned from the United States are driving them to invest early in substance abuse prevention programs. In Fernie, British Columbia, we're learning more about the victims of a deadly chemical accident and how some of them had deep ties to that small community. Carolyn Dunn has our story.
Chris Inglis started this makeshift memorial outside City Hall. It was something to do in a town gripped by a helpless feeling.
I want the families to know, and the friends and the co-workers and the colleagues all to know that we're all thinking about them and they have that love and support behind us all.
4 blocks in downtown Fernie are still off limits, and nearly 100 residents who live in the area have no idea when they'll be allowed home. The deadly ammonia believed to have killed 3 workers hasn't yet been cleared.
I know everybody's frustrated with their timelines, but we can't rush this because it's too dangerous to do that.
Worse, there are no answers about what went wrong when an emergency alarm rang in the early hours of Tuesday. The 3 men who died responding to that toxic ammonia leak: Lloyd Smith, 52, Leisure Services Director, part-time paramedic, and father of 13-year-old Evan, whose aunt read a statement on his behalf.
He was loved by so many. We thank everyone for the kind words and know he touched many people's lives. It is a great loss for my family.
59-year-old Wayne Hornquist was well known around the arena.
He claimed to be the best Zamboni driver around because he could finish the rink using 1 less lap than everyone else. His daughters say that he was our guy for everything.
And Jason Podlosky, 46, a refrigeration specialist from Turner Valley, Alberta. The loss has cast a pall over this mountain city of 5,000. Everyone, it seems, knows someone connected to the families. And local blacksmith Sandra Barrett says residents are reaching out to each other.
It took half an hour to just buy a loaf of bread in Overweight, well, Save on Foods now, because people want to talk. You know, it's a way of remembering and coming to terms with things.
And one question: what could have possibly gone so wrong in this arena to leave 3 families and an entire community grieving tonight? Carolyn Dunn, CBC News, Fernie, British Columbia.
Heart-wrenching story after heart-wrenching story. It was a hard week in Winnipeg at the inquiry for missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls. Some of the toughest criticism of the process has come from Manitoba. So did this week's hearings change anything? Karen Pauls has that story.
For 9 years, Bernice and Wilfred Catchaway have tried to find their daughter, Jennifer. She disappeared just before her 18th birthday and hasn't been seen since.
The day Jennifer went missing, our nightmare started.
Catchaway told the inquiry what it was like to search in lakes and swamps and garbage dumps.
It's the worst thing a parent or anybody can go through to try to find your child in a garbage dump.
They say police dismissed their concerns.
Jennifer was failed. Time is crucial. There's no time to say, oh, give her time, she's on a drug. She'll be back.
The Catchaways were originally told to testify in private to avoid jeopardizing the ongoing police investigation. They refused and were given 2 hours to speak publicly this morning. But they say many other families were shortchanged.
They could sit there and listen to the families and not rush them.
Nearly 90 people shared painful stories in Winnipeg this week. One of those stories was of Tanya Nepanak, who disappeared 6 years ago. She's also never been found. Charges initially laid against convicted killer Sean Lamb were ultimately stayed.
It's tragedy after tragedy.
Nepanak's aunt, Sue Caribou, is on the inquiry's Family Advisory Council.
Please consider the families and not do this in a rush.
I think it's normal that they are frustrated. I think those criticisms are there to help us to improve or to change.
Michelle Odette says the commission will ask for more time so they can do their job properly.
The extension is obviously, it shouldn't be an issue anymore. It should be yes, but we have to present it in a proper way and in a good way for the federal government.
Commissioners hope their work this week will improve relationships with the community. They'll need trust and good faith as the inquiry continues hearings across the country and prepares the interim report due next month. Karen Pauls, CBC News, Winnipeg.
With the Winnipeg hearing wrapping up, 3 are now complete, including Whitehorse and Smithers, BC. 7 hearings are left. The next one is set to start on October 30th in Halifax. Coming up, Justin Trudeau campaigned on a long list of promises. Halfway into his mandate, we've got the score. And later,
they've been phenomenal to me. Good friends, been a support.
It takes an army to help veterans in crisis. You'll need a dedicated corps of volunteers. More than 60 people were killed and many more were injured in Afghanistan when 2 mosques were hit by separate attacks. In Kabul, a gunman began firing and then set off an explosive. The target believed to be Shia worshippers. The other attack was on a Sunni mosque in central Afghanistan. In Iraq, the army says it's finally taken over all of Kirkuk, forcing out Kurdish Peshmerga who helped liberate the oil-rich region from ISIS. Though there was some intense fighting between sides, who are allies against ISIS, most of the Peshmerga withdrew without issue. Quebec's controversial new religious neutrality law only passed a couple days ago, but it's already amplifying a deep divide in the province between those who say the bill is necessary to defend Quebec's modern secular tradition and those who say Bill 62 unfairly targets Muslim women who wear niqabs. And as Alison Northcott reports, both sides are digging in.
During rush hour this morning, a small protest against a new law some say unfairly targets Muslim women who wear the niqab.
We feel that this ban is limiting their access to services that should be a fundamental right for all Quebecers.
The Quebec Liberals passed their religious neutrality bill this week. It prohibits wearing face coverings while giving or receiving public services, including transit, libraries, and hospitals. While this bus driver showed his support for those protesting the law, he could end up having to enforce it. Bill 62 has been criticized by Muslim groups, civil rights advocates, and Montreal's mayor. But one recent poll suggests a strong majority of Quebecers support it. In Saint-Hyacinthe, a farming community east of Montreal, Danielle André says the law makes sense.
If your belief is very deep, why do you have to show it to people?
For some here, it's a matter of security and integration. It's important to bring people from other cultures into the region, says Régent Soli, but they have to adapt. But in this Montreal neighborhood, one of the most diverse in the province, a different view.
I don't think it's okay because it's a choice. I mean, every woman should be equal wherever she decides to wear it or not.
Farida Mohammed with the Canadian Council of Muslim Women says few Quebecers even wear the niqab and that the law raises many questions.
It means that these women now are going to be housebound? Does that mean they cannot take public transport? They can't go to a library?
Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said yesterday it's not up to Ottawa to challenge Quebec's law. Today, he shifted his tone slightly.
As a federal government, we're going to take our responsibilities seriously and look carefully at what the implications are.
He didn't commit to a court challenge, but experts predict someone will. Still, Quebec's 2 main opposition parties say the law doesn't go far enough, and with the provincial election a year away, the Premier continues to defend it. Alison Northcott, CBC News, Montreal.
Ontario Premier Kathleen Wynne is one step away from suing Ontario PC leader Patrick Brown. Her lawyer says he has now been delivered a notice of libel. Last month, Brown made comments suggesting Wynne was on trial for bribery in relation to a by-election in Sudbury. While Wynne did testify at the trial, she herself was not on trial. Brown has refused to retract and apologize for his statements.
It's a problem that really shouldn't exist in our own country.
Still no promises of funding, though, from the Federal Finance Committee to fix the problem of people with names similar to those on airport no-fly lists. 8-year-old Adam Ahmed's family presented a petition today. They first went public 2 years ago after they were stopped repeatedly at airports because he has the same name as someone on the list. Nova Scotia's famous Fortress of Louisbourg was built to defend against an attack by sea. Now, almost 300 years later, the landmark is under siege by the sea itself. Strong storms and rising sea levels are slowly eating away at the coastline around Louisbourg. Brent Ruskin has more on the battle to save this piece of Canadian history.
The fortress of Louisbourg hasn't come under attack for more than 250 years. It was once a bustling 18th century French fort, the busiest in New France. Twice the British Navy attacked and took over. 2 centuries later, the threat is now coming from climate change.
We know from archaeological sites that have been preserved here that sea level has risen about 1 meter since the 18th century.
Rising sea levels and coastal erosion are threatening one of Canada's largest and best snapshots of 18th century life.
The archaeological resources go on for about 20 square kilometers. So it's a time capsule of the 18th century.
All that history is more at risk with each passing year.
The top 5 storms in this region have all happened in the last 20 years.
Angelo DeQuinzio is leading a team to help defend the fortress. They'll dump 70 to 90 truckloads of rock daily for months to help fortify one of the walls.
This particular section of the coastline facing the Atlantic Ocean is subjected to really high-intensity storms and waves. We get all the energy coming right here.
A so-called 100-year storm hitting at high tide could flood the historic fort.
We would see flooding on the eastern buildings and possible exposure of cultural resources.
It's a new enemy that the fort is up against, but with a $9.2 million investment, Parks Canada is confident its coastline protection plan will work.
We're confident that this will be good for the next 100-year storm.
The first phase of this plan begins early next month. The entire project is set to last about 2 years to ensure the long-term protection of this historic site. Brett Ruskin, CBC News, Louisbourg, Nova Scotia.
Straight ahead, after the death of the tragically hip's Gord Downie this week, why his brothers are determined to continue what he started, moving down the road to reconciliation with Indigenous peoples.
Rolling Stones fans were absolutely delighted with the judge's decision not to send their hero to jail. Noting that Keith Richards isn't your usual drug addict, the judge imposed an extraordinary sentence, including the obligation to give a special benefit concert for young people here in Toronto at the Canadian National Institute for the Blind.
I feel very good about it, obviously, yeah. I think it's fair, slightly strange.
Richards told the news conference that he wouldn't recommend the use of drugs, but he wasn't about to become a preacher.
I guess our music will reflect the any changes in attitude that are prevalent amongst society and amongst people. We can't do any more than that, you know.
Michael Vaughan was there to see Richards serve his sentence.
Only 9,000 tickets were available for the 2 concerts, and of those, nearly a third were given free of charge to blind people. Other rock fans, not to be denied, perhaps the only Rolling Stones concert of the year, eagerly paid $75 a ticket for scalpers. The performers are collecting no fees or travel expenses for these shows. However, rock concerts are expensive to stage, and the Canadian National Institute for the Blind expects to show little, if any, profit. For Keith Richards, these concerts were a condition of his probation and suspended sentence, resulting from a drug conviction recently in Toronto. But the Federal Department of Justice wants to appeal for a stiffer sentence for Richards, perhaps to send him to jail. There are plans for him to meet authorities tomorrow to be served with the official notice of that appeal.
I found something in my date book the other day, and that he says there's no higher power than helping people.
That was Patrick Downie talking about his late brother Gord and the sentiment that is his legacy. Downie died Tuesday night, 2 years after being diagnosed with an invasive brain tumor. This afternoon, a private family gathering was held. They're considering holding a public memorial too. Though for now, Downie's 2 siblings are focusing not only on their loss, but also on honoring Gord the way he'd want. Earlier today, they sat down with Tom Power, host of Q on CBC Radio, Here's an excerpt.
Mike and Patrick Downie, thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
It's a pleasure. You just lost your brother a couple of days ago. You could have waited to talk to us. So there's obviously something you wanted Canadians to hear right now.
Well, firstly, thank you. The outpouring has just been, it's been a beautiful tidal wave of emotion, and we've felt it. And, you know, I think if we could harness part of that and keep people moving in the direction that Gord, you know, started moving in himself towards reconciliation, that would be something really positive, you know, to come out of you know, the tragic loss of you know, a great guy who had a lot more to give. So I am hoping that, you know, we can keep the conversation, you know, on a national level about how we can figure out how to bring these two solitudes together, Indigenous and non-Indigenous people, and follow the excellent lead that Gord provided for us.
So Patrick, how can we do that?
Our whole family is feeling pretty tender at this point, but it's not too much unlike, you know, that last show in Kingston, where Gord sort of suddenly realized he had this huge audience and he could say something and actually take advantage of the attention and put it to work. And, you know, it's not an easy situation to come out in this particular time to speak about this publicly, and but we'd be remiss if we didn't take advantage of the attention that he's getting to do some actual work, to actually put it into something.
Mourning a family member is a very private thing. Mm-hmm. What's it been like having the country sort of mourn with you?
Well, we had a bit of a dry run with this back when it got announced that he had incurable cancer, and we had known since the fall of 2015. We had known about 6 months prior, and when the announcement came out, you know, we had to shelter ourselves a lot from the public reaction. I just felt the weight of an entire country, so it dredged it all up again. We had kind of, you know, been a little bit resolved and started to, you know, draw strength to sort of try to help Gord get through it. But then there was this whole weight of just an entire country, I guess. So that happened again, and we were a little bit more prepared for it. But I will say, yeah, it compounds the grief when you know so many other people are grieving, and just the way it, you know, when you see the finality of it and some of the things in the, you know, the front pages of all the papers and the ticker tapes and stuff, it's this country weighs a lot. And you know, we're not trying to say we're holding it up, but you know, we're
not.
I think you know, many hands make lighter work.
Was he always good with words?
Yeah. Or as my mom would say, he was always good with his pen.
Oh, yeah. Because even when I spoke to him, he had this really beautiful way of speaking.
Yeah.
Even very poetic, you know, even in his casual day-to-day conversation.
Yeah. Well, you know, we've been together very intimately for the last 2 years, living together, and you know, I wrote a lot of little gems down, but the one that keeps coming back to me, because he was thanking me a lot of kind of for helping him through all this. It was a big burden. You know, he felt he was kind of a burden, and that's a big part of somebody who's sick.
Yeah, they apologize.
And you know, we got that ironed out, but, you know, hey, you know, he would really do it for not just a family of brothers. You know, I learned all of what I did for Gord from him. He is a very dutiful man. And he would just say things, you know, often randomly, you know, in the last little while. And I found something in my date book the other day and that he'd say, he says, there's no higher power than helping people. And I don't know when he discovered that, or maybe that's what he discovered in all of this, but that's my story.
I think a lot of us couldn't get over that he was doing so much in this past year, that he was going out on tour with the Tragically Hip, that he was putting off the Secret Path concerts, that he was like leading the charge on reconciliation with the Downie and the Wenjack Fund. As his family, as the people who knew him best, where did that strength come from?
We're emotional people, and anybody that knows us would probably say that. You know, I was on tour with the Hip when they did that last thing, and some of those long extended ovations where Gord would just stand out there and wave, I guess wave goodbye, showing his gratitude. I couldn't get over how strong he was. And I guess I didn't really know he was that strong, because I'm, you know, I'm baby, he dubbed me Baby Cry Cry. And I can't, you know, it was a long time. I cry, I watched Marley and Me on a plane without the sound, and I bawled my eyes out. You know, I cry at weddings. I don't even know the people that are getting married. But he is strong, and I honestly don't know, you know. My dad was a very sort of stoic dude, and maybe that's where it comes from.
Before we turn on the microphones, I was telling you guys about my father, who had died from a very similar condition. Mm-hmm. And there are moments you see something, you live through something, all you want to do is call him and tell him about it. Mike, is there anything you'd say to him right now?
Anything I'd say to Gord?
Yeah.
You know, I guess one of the, what comes along with, you know, battling an illness for that amount of time, you do get opportunities to, you know.
Have that conversation.
To have the conversations. Yeah. So, we definitely had a few of those conversations, and I think one of the things I'm really going to miss is a witness to a big chunk of my life. Gord had a great memory, and I'm going to miss that. You know, I've got a pretty good memory. I'm going to hang on to all of it, but it's a little bit more fun when you can share it with somebody who was there too. So,
we lost a musician, we lost a guide, we lost an icon. You're seeing all these words. We know you lost a family member, and you have our deepest condolences here. And Patrick and Mike, I hope you know that the whole country is behind you, and the whole country's mourning with you.
Oh. Thank you.
Thank you for coming in.
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks, Tom.
Tom Power's full interview with Patrick and Mike Downie will air on Q on CBC Radio on Monday. One last note about Gord Downie. His last concert, his remarkable and emotional Secret Path live performance, was held a year ago this weekend. And Sunday night, the 51st anniversary of Cheney Wenjack's death, is being broadcast for the very first time. You can watch the premiere of Gord Downie's Secret Path in concert on CBC Television at 9 p.m. local time, 9:30 in Newfoundland. It'll also be available online at cbc.ca/secretpath. Stay with us. When we come back, scoring the Prime Minister's campaign promises. And later,
I totally understood how a guitar could really allow you to deal with problems that are probably too hard to talk about.
How these donated instruments help struggling Canadian veterans on The National. Let's check the day's business numbers. The TSX edged up 39 points. The dollar decreased 0.75 cents. In New York, the Dow hit a record high, and the price of oil rose 33 cents a barrel.
One night last week, a baby was born in Britain, a little girl. Her birth has created controversy all around the world because she was conceived in a test tube. It gives hope to thousands of childless couples. It has also raised serious ethical questions about interfering with nature.
To many doctors, the birth is simply a natural development of modern medicine. But there are those who say that doctors are defying God.
I'm not in favor of it. I am very worried that she might grow up to be abnormal.
Science seems to be the thing of the future. We have to live for the science, and it looks like our future is going to be dictated by the science.
Will they start also make their own race type of thing, like taking genes and things from certain people and saying we want this type of person, we want an intelligent person, we want them to look like this?
Here, making her first guest appearance on television is baby Louise and her parents, John and Leslie Brown.
This is certainly a very happy story. Louise is a beautiful baby. But I know there has been criticism. Does this bother you at all? How do you handle that?
There's only a very small minority who is criticizing.
Mind your language! In some ways, she's like any other 10-year-old girl getting ready for a birthday party. Excited, a little giddy perhaps at all the attention. What makes her different is not that she is 10, it's that she exists at all.
The thing that I find is so wonderful is that she's very intelligent. She has been told all about test tube babies. Her sister has. The family is wonderful.
Louise and her 6-year-old sister Natalie are both in vitro babies.
The world's first test tube baby celebrated her 25th birthday today. Despite the significance of her birth, Louise Brown doesn't feel special.
It doesn't even enter my head apart from things like this.
Since her birth, more than 1 million babies worldwide have been born using in vitro fertilization.
Star Wars has run at this one theater, the Odeon, now for 31 weeks. For the first 19 weeks, it ran 5 times a day, and since then, 4 times a day.
I watch certain parts of it over again.
Do you find it boring now?
No.
You've seen it so many times?
Not really, no.
How many times have you seen Star Wars?
3, 7, this is my 8th time.
6 times. Why have you come back 6 times?
Because it's such a good show.
The Return of the Jedi. The movie premiered today across North America. A privileged few got to see it last night. And in the Ottawa audience was 11-year-old Justin Trudeau.
Vader's on that ship. Now, don't get jittery, Luke. There are a lot of command ships.
Justin, how did you like the movie?
Great. It was better than The Empire Strikes Back and Star Wars. At least I think so.
Was it what you expected?
No, more. Much more.
Now, 20 years later, many of those original Star Wars fans are gearing themselves up for this weekend's re-release.
Sort of like a generation thing. You know, I had all the figures and stuff like that, and I mean, he wants all the figures and things like that now as well. But I tell you, I wish I had the lightsaber.
Theaters across Toronto were putting on the final touches for The Phantom Menace, and Star Wars fans seem more than ready.
Well, I've waited for this since, 1983, so a really long time, but I've officially been here for 2 weeks, since the 5th of May, and I've logged about 100 hours in the line.
In a matter of moments, fans will get what they have been waiting weeks for.
This is 15 years. This is the whole youth. My whole past is building up to this.
But as the doors are about to open, a new era begins for Star Wars fans. One that may be more about the wait and anticipation than the actual movie.
The difference with this Star Wars is...
You want a government with a vision and an agenda for this country that is positive and ambitious and hopeful.
2 years ago this week, Justin Trudeau swept into office with a strong majority mandate, a remarkable turnaround for the Liberals, who entered the race behind in the polls, only to pull off a huge upset through positive messaging and big promises. But now that we're smack dab in the middle of Trudeau's term, how's he really doing? Because there are a lot of promises to keep track of.
We are committed to investing in infrastructure.
Infrastructure spending was a pillar of the Liberal platform in 2015. A long list of commitments to spend billions, touted as an investment in the middle class and the Canadian economy. Public transit, green, and social infrastructure, the 3 main umbrellas. And a promise to create a Canadian infrastructure bank to help finance new projects. The government says the bank should be operational by the end of the year. But the investments are lagging. As of March, $2.5 billion of the promised $8 billion was missing from the projected infrastructure spending this fiscal year. Trudeau made the environment and the economy touchstones of his campaign, with his claim that his government would prioritize both at once.
The environment and the economy go hand in hand.
And he stuck to that message.
What's the first thing you do on the economy?
Call together the premiers, talk about climate change.
Trudeau is in the process of introducing a federally enforced carbon tax. And he did bring the premiers to COP21 in Paris. But he showed up there with the same emissions targets as Stephen Harper. And the Trudeau Liberals still aren't on track to meet them. This month, Canada's environment watchdog gave the government nearly all failing grades in their yearly audit. Trudeau used his environment promises as social license to build pipelines. But Energy East was abandoned. Keystone XL is still in limbo. And even though he approved Kinder Morgan and Line 3, there's no guarantee they'll be completed.
We can't shut down the oil sands.
So far, his promise to thread the needle through two sticky issues isn't showing success for either. Renewing the relationship with Indigenous peoples was another big priority, with a promise to immediately launch an inquiry into murdered and missing Indigenous women and girls if elected. On that, they delivered.
The Government of Canada is launching its first phase of the inquiry into murdered and missing Indigenous women and girls.
But so far, the inquiry is widely seen as a failure.
You failed in communications. You failed to build trust. You failed to build relationships with families.
In July, one of the 5 commissioners echoed this disappointment when she resigned.
My resignation is because I needed to sleep at night about where I thought this commission was going and what I thought it could do.
While debate around the ongoing inquiry continues, Trudeau made another show of his commitment to Indigenous peoples by splitting the Ministry of Indigenous and Northern Affairs in a recent cabinet shuffle. One of the 2 new departments will now be focused on the long-term goal of ending the Indian Act. In August, Manitoba became the final province to sign on to a health care agreement with the federal government. The provinces weren't as enthused about the agreements as Ottawa.
The provinces didn't all come together and agree to the same thing.
But the 13 custom deals mean the Liberals achieved their promise to renegotiate the health accord.
All provinces and territories and the federal government have agreed.
The result? 3% annual increases to the Canadian Health Transfer and an $11 billion national fund for mental health, addiction support, and home care programs. The Liberals set themselves apart by promising to legalize marijuana.
I have been, in my past, a very rare user of marijuana.
The young, cool leader who had admitted to trying pot brought in some votes. But in reality, it's a tedious legislative lift involving several ministries.
Today is an important day.
The government tabled legislation in April with the hopes of rolling out plans next summer. But tons of questions remain about how exactly it will work and whether the provinces can get organized in time. Trudeau told Canadians he was up to a tough task, overhauling the way we vote. But that was one of his government's first broken promises.
I am not going to do something that is wrong for Canadians just to tick off a box on an electoral platform.
Trudeau abandoned his commitment to get rid of first past the post. Justin Trudeau took aim at what he called the former government's boutique tax credits when he campaigned on the Canada Child Benefit. The CCB was launched in July 2016. It's pegged to household income, so the wealthiest families don't qualify, and the lowest income households get more than they did under Harper. The Liberals were the only party that campaigned on running deficits.
Our plan features 3 years of historic involvement in the investment in the Canadian economy.
He had projected deficits of $10 billion each year, returning to balanced budgets by 2019. Instead, the deficit was $29.4 billion in his first budget and $28.5 billion in his second. The Trudeau Liberals are not on track for balanced budgets by election year.
Up next, Canadian veterans in crisis get help from a dedicated group of volunteers and some very nice guitars.
One of the highlights of the sports year throughout Western Europe, the International Auto Exhibit. By and large, the designers and manufacturers have worked toward the goal of producing a car that will carry the most people the farthest at the lowest cost. But comfort remains a factor. And as far as gadgetry is concerned, the European car makers are in a neck-and-neck race with their American counterparts.
Transporting cargo is no problem for the XB883.
The automobile may be a form of transportation, a way of getting from here to there, but it's also much more. It has served Americans as a status symbol, a love object, and an instrument of adolescent machismo. Suddenly we become aware that families that would never dream of purchasing a $100 painting are eager to spend $7,000 for a gleaming, striped and chromed hunk of metal. In their eyes, this suggests beauty.
This particular car is all electric, yes, and you remember we came in the front door here. It's very simple. There's a brake and an accelerator and one position for forward and one position for reverse, and that's all there is to it.
You just seal this up by pulling this down.
Right. Let's try it.
How about that? Do you suppose we'll ever get out again?
I don't know. I feel like preserved here like some peaches.
Now, we realize the emphasis is on wheels, but we never expected to find this. It's called the Panther 6 because it has 6 wheels, 2 on the back, 4 on the front. The Panther is now handmade just outside Vancouver and uses a huge Cadillac turbo engine.
How fast?
200 miles an hour.
How much?
$200,000.
Wow.
So what will you be driving in 25 years? This prototype was designed to travel at 240 kilometers per hour. TV cameras mounted inside the back of the car feed the driver pictures of what's happening behind.
And what you do is you program in where you want to go and where you are, and on this screen you'll get a digitized map that shows you the best alternative route to take.
This car just might take the place of some airplane flights.
He said, I'm homeless, man. He said, I'm not doing good. And I was like, what do you mean you're homeless?
A chance encounter has probably changed thousands of lives. At the time of that meeting, Jim Lowther had already left one army, and then he decided to start another. He created Vets Canada. It's a group of dedicated volunteers who are helping veterans in crisis, and there are many who need it. It turns out that included Lowther himself. CBC's Red Sharon has the story.
How bad did it get?
It got bad. It got really bad. For me, it was dark. It was dark. You feel like you're drowning, and you can't catch a breath, right? And you just want to catch a breath.
Jim Lowther spent a long time getting the rhythm of his life back in tune. A career soldier, he was just 26 when he deployed to Bosnia. 2 tours of a peacekeeping mission, caught in the middle of a volatile and bloody war.
I was there in 96, 97, and it was after the genocide. So all that was coming to light. We did a lot of great things there, protecting people, helping people, which I loved. But it was, you know, people are shooting at you. It's war.
8 years later, Jim was forced to leave his band of brothers and sisters after an accident. He soon realized he was not just physically, but emotionally damaged too.
It started bothering me. And I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know what was wrong with me. I thought I was losing my mind, literally. In my worst moments, there was times where I would be driving. And I would think, maybe I'll just veer off the road. Undo my seatbelt.
End it.
End it. And I never really said that before, but you know, many times I felt like that.
His guitar was one of the things that offered him a chance to escape the noise in his head. But then something else happened.
This is where my life changed, right here, in a church. Forever.
Jim was one of the lucky ones. He got help, but it took years. And it took 7 Sundays driving around St. Andrew's Church in Halifax before he got up the courage to go in and help serve Sunday dinner to the homeless.
I grabbed a tray, started serving people, and it felt good. It felt really good, you know. I was pretty proud of myself, right? Then I noticed a guy that I recognized, and I was like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. So I went over and started talking to him, a guy I served with. You know, said, hey, how you doing? Good to see you. You know, like, you know, you're volunteering here as well, or, you know. And he said, no. He said, to be honest, he said, I'm not doing well. And I was like, well, you're not doing well, okay. He said, I'm getting something to eat. I said, what? And he said, I'm homeless, man. He said, I'm not doing good. And I was like, what do you mean you're homeless? And he said, that's nothing. He said, there's three other veterans here at this dinner who are homeless. And I was like, what?
She took 3 crisis calls overnight.
His wife, Debbie, didn't hesitate. She said, let's try to change this. And in 2010, Vets Canada was born.
We basically decided right there at a kitchen table that we were going to do something about it. We got a group of people together, small grassroots group, and we started to go to the shelters and look ourselves.
How you doing? All right.
What they found shocked them. Thousands of vets in crisis, many suicidal, men and women.
Must break your heart sometimes.
It absolutely does break my heart sometimes, especially when there's children involved. In the last little while, we've seen a real spike in the number of female veterans that are coming forward for assistance. So, you know, and they all have children in tow.
It is tough to see because it's such a. There's so many struggling, and you really want to scream at the top of your lungs.
Yeah.
You just want to say, you know, wake up, Canada. Like, you know, our troops aren't necessarily being looked after. What about the broken soldiers? You know what I mean? But instead of doing that, I mean, we're an organization, we don't, and we did this from day one, we don't judge our own, or we wouldn't help anyone. We don't. Yeah. We don't point the finger at the government or any other organization. We just put our heads down and do the work.
And once people found out, usually online, many wanted to help. Vets Canada has built a social media network now over 100,000 strong. Volunteers in every province and every major city. This morning, they are boots on the ground in Ottawa at the Army Run.
It's good to be able to help.
They are all volunteers. Only in recent years has the government provided a small contract to help Vets Canada reach more people.
Take this, and when you get home, call.
65-year-old veteran Richard Mccollum is what they like to call a full circle volunteer. This morning, he's helping a woman who wants to donate a wheelchair. But not long ago, he was jobless, homeless, and feeling hopeless on the streets of Ottawa.
Was there a point where you didn't think you were going to make it?
Yep. Yeah. Actually, when I left St. Catharines, I was at the end of my rope.
Today, he's none of those things, and he thanks Vets Canada for it.
They've been phenomenal to me. Good friends, been a support for me, giving back, and even spending time with them when they come in town. You know, it's just phenomenal to sit and talk.
Yeah, you're in a better place now.
A much better place now.
And across the city, the group is getting some high-profile support from a seemingly unlikely source.
Wow. Oh, yeah. What great acoustics. Those are the ones.
You may recognize Sean McCann, formerly of the Newfoundland band Great Big Sea, now the ambassador for another Vets Canada initiative, Guitars for Vets. A highly successful Canadian musician and a pacifist, inside, Sean McCann was going through some of the very same struggles Soldier Jim was.
Even though I haven't served in an army and suffered what you've gone through, I know what it's like to be alone and to be struggling through a crisis. And in my case, it was alcoholism and facing my own past.
So when Jim started finding gently used guitars and giving them to struggling vets as a kind of therapy, Sean said, "Sign me up."
I related to Jim when he told me his story and how I totally understood how a guitar could really allow you to deal with problems that are probably too hard to talk about.
So far, the group has handed out over 700 guitars.
I just think one guitar, one voice.
And they are hoping a concert planned here in the capital for the day before Remembrance Day will raise even more awareness and money for their musical therapy.
His medals have all gone to flowers, and his clothes slowly to dust. And the rifle he bore on his shoulder so proud is nothing but rust. But his tears ran down to a river, the river ran down to the sea. The sea turned into an ocean, and the ocean is you and me. The soul goes on forever. Love is stronger than time. All broken men will be happy again. Forever light will shine. The soul goes on forever. Love is stronger than time. All broken men and broken women, forever light will shine. Forever light will shine. Sounds good in here, eh?
Back in their Dartmouth office, the walls are lined with donated guitars. Some have become art, promoting the cause.
Good luck, guys. Good luck.
So far, they've helped over 2,000 veterans. The forgotten, Jim calls them.
I mean, that's amazing.
They hear from them every day.
If it weren't for your help, I'm not sure I would have been able to pull through this.
I'm still working on my PTSD.
You saved my life with your efforts and ensured my family will continue to have a roof over their heads. We've been very...
And along the way, Debbie figures something else has happened too.
So you've seen a difference in him?
Absolutely, yeah.
You think it saved his life?
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Jim still has bad days, but not as many as the hopeful ones. There's always another song, one day at a time.
Take these broken wings and learn to fly.
That's it. That's what we do every day. Awesome.
Red Sharon, CBC News in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia.
Great story. That, by the way, was Red Sharon's last report for The National. After 35 years and a trove of stories, he's decided to move on to new adventures. Now, stay with us. We'll update you on our top stories after the break.
Bruce Springsteen, Mr. Born in the USA, hits Toronto next week on the last leg of his worldwide tour. He's been on the road for a year, and with each performance, fan hysteria has risen to what music observers call the serious insanity level.
In 62 cities around the world, fans have camped out for days for the privilege of buying a ticket. Tonight, Ted Wallishan takes a look at Bruce Springsteen's fans.
This is Asbury Park, New Jersey. To many, it is just another small town in the northern United States, a typical working-class community. But to his millions of fans, it is the home of America's newest hero, Bruce Springsteen.
Born down in a dead man's town. The first kick I took was when I hit the ground. End up like a dog.
This week, Springsteen came home and was greeted by more than 250,000 fans who turned each of his 4 shows into a celebration. To the fans who did come, he's the working-class kid who made it big without giving up his New Jersey roots.
He gets across to the middle class, you know, like people. He's not like a real hot dog, like a Michael Jackson or who else ever goes around, you know. He's just an average guy going out and making everybody happy, get his point across, that's it.
He'd write about growing up and painful feelings, you know, loneliness and fun and recklessness and things that I could identify with. And as he gets older, as I get older, he's writing about things that I could identify with too.
Well, for one thing, he grew up in Jersey, and he's not like one of these rich people, you know. And when he makes the money, he gives it to charities, and he just, even what he writes about, he knows what he's talking about.
There really is no such thing as a typical Bruce Springsteen fan. His audiences range from 14-year-olds to 45-year-olds. Oftentimes, they are families. They come from the working class and the upper class. The one thing they do seem to have in common is an uncanny devotion to the man they call the boss. Some 236,000 people purchased Springsteen tickets in one day. No one artist has ever performed for so many fans in the New York area. The previous record holder was Springsteen himself.
Rick Mercer Report, Tuesdays at 8 on CBC.
Before we go, a quick recap of our top story.
We often are over capacity.
Canadian hospitals are struggling to deal with a tragic new aspect of the opioid crisis, a huge increase in the number of babies born hooked on the drugs. The Canadian Institute of Health Information says between April 2016 and April 2017, 1,800 newborns were treated for opioid dependency. That's The National for this Friday night. For news at any hour, you can always go to cbcnews.ca. I'm Duncan McHugh. Jimmy Gwitch, thanks for watching.